What's up, guys? Bottai Pigs for Life here, and today we're here with the very first episode of The Future of Hammond's Dream, Season 5 in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Honestly, just saying The Future of Hammond's Dream Season 5 makes me feel so shocked that we have made it so far in this series. So, if we really quickly turn around behind me, we are clearly on the UK map, because over the course of this series, we are going to be constructing Jurassic Park United Kingdom. So, if you guys remember from the final tour of The Future of Hammond's Dream Season 4, I thought that Jurassic Park Grand Canyon was gonna be a challenge because of the space. I have not seen nothing yet. This is gonna be even more of a challenge because let's just take a look at this. There is even less space than we had last time. So because of that, what I decided to do is I decided to once again do a little bit of planning before we got started. So the theme for this park is going to be dinosaurs and other prehistoric species that were found in the UK. So, that is going to include several lagoon species, as well as the Dimorphodon. But that is also going to include some of the early Cretaceous dinosaurs. So we're gonna have Baryonyx, we're gonna have Eotyrannus, we're gonna have Polycanthus and Mantellosaurus, and then we're gonna have Colubrincus right in here. So then for other dinosaurs, we've got a couple of enclosures. So the sandy outlines indicate where enclosures are gonna be. This is probably gonna be the Proceratosaurus enclosure. Then I'm thinking we're gonna do Loricatosaurus and Sarcolestes, and in one of them is going to be Compsognathus, probably in here. So now that we've got a plan, we need to get started with our base of operations. So I'm thinking right over here would be a nice spot for a helipad. And so what we're going to do is, since this park is going to be a lot smaller than many of my other parks, we're not going to do the traditional get on the tour to get to the rest of the park. We are going to have a tour. It's going to go right here. But what we're going to do is, right in front of it, we are going to put the iconic Jurassic Park Visitor Center. As always. Right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to instead add in the placeable Jurassic Park gate. And that's going to go right here. So you walk in and you're greeted by the iconic Jurassic Park gate. So now we just need to connect it up. This actually looks super nice. Yes, and then what we could do is we could do that, and then we could take that. Yes, oh my gosh. This actually looks fantastic. So then right here is where we are going to put the Ranger team. Right there. And then also, can we fit a paleomedical facility? No, but if we do this, yeah, there we go. Okay, so then let's take our facility path, run it along there, run it there. And we're good. So then to hide it, let's add in some forest, because that's one thing that we have in this park that we didn't have last time, is we have forest. We have trees. Well, I mean, we did have trees. We just didn't have the massive cover of forest. Perfect. So, actually, let's start, I think, by setting up the enclosures, at least over here. So the plan for this video is I want to get this first section finished. So because of that, what we're going to do is I think we should start by adding in some of the enclosures. So actually, what I might even do is I might make it a little bit closer. So yeah, then honestly what I might do is I might just use that as the habitat border. Yeah, no, let's connect it up like that. Make it nice and flawless. There we go. Let's take that, and we're just gonna make a rough sketch. Okay, then we're gonna have to use a little trick where we do this, we do that, and that allows us to get the fence nice and perfectly lined. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we've got our first enclosure ready to go. So what we need to do is we need to add in some viewing. So I think to start, let's add in this, and then maybe we could put, like, I don't know, maybe a meat feeder, since this is where the compies are gonna go. We should also add in a remote viewing gallery. Okay, that's a good start. So now let's take our guest path. There we go. Okay, so then, yeah, we can put that there. We can put that there. And then probably what I'll do is over here I'll put, like, some hotels and stuff. Alright, so then one thing we also have to do is we have to add in a hatchery for the lagoon. Oh, that's actually perfect. I love that. So then right along here, we can put some of those. And then of course we're going to add in an underwater viewing dome. So we can put that there for now. Let's start with some marine species. So the three species we're going to have in here are Liopleurodon, Plesiosaurus, and Ichthyosaurus. But the Plesiosaurus and Ichthyosaurus are going to go together. I'm thinking we'll do Liopleurodon in here. We'll do Plesiosaurus and Ichthyosaurus in here. So, oh, we need to connect it first. I promise I know how to play the game. So yeah, so let's start with those. And of course, especially on this map, the humble trait is our best friend. So then, probably what we're gonna do is right here is gonna be the start of our tour. Probably it's gonna have to go like right here. And then it's going to end up all the way over here, which is going to be our first guest section. It'll be like a mini guest section, like we had in JP Grand Canyon with the Therizinosaurus and Mononychus and Oviraptor. Alright, so now let's airlift these guys. We can get our first guests. Yeah, here's the plan. Let's get all of our necessities in first. So all of the dinosaurs and other prehistoric reptiles and all of the important buildings that we need. Let's connect them up, and then we can go on to adding the guest facilities and whatever else. Not lined up to the path? Not a problem. We can just do that. We're gonna need a hatchery for the aviary. And you know what? I'm gonna move it there, so that way... Oh, nice. Love that. There we go. So, good start for our tour. Then, we're going to add in one of these. Alright, let's check in on these guys. Okay, so they need some fish. Classic. That should do it. They've got plenty of space, which is excellent. Let's take a look at the skins, shall we? Okay, not bad. Ooh, not bad. Social! Woo! Ooh, that's a nice one. And, yeah. Okay. Skin break over. Let's get back to doing this. Alright guys, as we're mapping out this next enclosure, I just want to quickly mention that this year, we are trying to reach 175 subscribers before the end of 2025. So, if you're enjoying this video so far, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel to see some more videos just like this one. Not only will it help me reach my goal for this year, but it'll also help the YouTube algorithm recommend more videos that you might like. And as always, just by taking the time out of your day to watch this video is showing me a tremendous amount of support. So because of that, I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Alrighty, so pretty much everything is all connected up. Oh, except for this thing. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. And then everything will pretty much be connected up. So yeah, so that's the key. When you don't know where to start with the park, personally what I like to do is I like to start with all the essential buildings. So as you can see, we've got like, you know, the visitor center. We've got your paleomedical facility and ranger facility. You've got your hatcheries, you've got your enclosures, you've got your viewing methods. So you've got those essentials. And then once you get all your dinosaurs, then it will all help you map out where you need to put guest facilities. So let's start by checking in on the Plesiosaurus. Yeah, I mean, nothing too special with the skins. So yeah, so they all seem to be doing fine, and they seem to be getting along with the Ichthyosaurus. The Ichthyosaurus definitely have better skins than the Plesiosaurus. Aside from that one. Ooh, that one's nice. Ooh, and I love that one, actually. Meh. And yeah, I think we're back to the ones we saw earlier. Okay, so let's add in the Liopleurodons, and then we can add in the Dimorphodons afterwards, and then we can add in the actual dinosaurs. Alright, good selection. And while we're doing that, let's also get the Dimorphodons cooking. Baby, baby, adult, adult, baby, adult. Alright. If we're able to, we can also get more Dimorphodons. Alright, let's release the Liopleurodons. Look at all of them. I'll be honest, these are actually some nice skins. Especially this one. I love this one. Alright, you've got more like a crocodile-y skin. That one's a nice one. The orange one is looking cool. And then, yeah. All in all, I really love those skins. So now we just need to add in some fish. And boom. And now we can release the Dimorphodons. Alright, so now here's where we need to do some extra touches. We gotta give this place some extra love. So one thing I kind of want to do for this enclosure is I want to make it more, like, inland. So, normally we think of pterosaurs living along the coast, but I want it this time to be instead, like, on the side of a lake. So we'll still add in, like, a couple rocks, but, yeah, do they even need... Hang on. There they are. They need sand, and that's it. So yeah, so we'll add in a little bit of sand. But also, you've got some sparse forest coverage. You know what? Let's add some more. Let's add another batch. Let's see. Adult, adult, baby, adult, baby, adult. And while they're cooking in there, let's add some rocks. There we go, some nice jagged peaks along the cliff. Alright, so now we can release the Dimorphodons. There we go. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it there for Dimorphodons because, yeah, it's starting to get a little bit crammed in here. Aw, look at the little babies. Yeah, no, this looks pretty good, I must say. So, now that we've got all the non-dinosaurs, now we can actually add in the dinosaurs. So, we're going to do accelerated growth. We're going to do additional bays. So, let's start with this. Let's go down the alphabet, because I feel like it'll be easier. So let's see. We can do all the compies. You do all these guys. All these guys. And let me see. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Proceratosaurus. So this is going to be Loricatosaurus and Compy. This is going to be Sarcolestes. So, let's start releasing. Wow, these guys are super pretty. Alright, so they're going to explore. How are these guys? Yeah, they just need to explore is the thing. So, one thing we might need to do to encourage them is let's do another batch. And then let's airlift them to the other side of the enclosure. And then let's do another batch of Sarcolestes because I feel like it. Okay, there we go. So they're expanding their territory. You know what? New plan. New plan. Loricatosaurus are going to go in here. Sarcolestes will go in here. Perfect, that's great. Actually, one thing I will do. There we go, okay. Yeah, there we go, that looks good. Okay, and then in here, we release the Sarcolestes. Great. We just need to replace all this with ground leaf. And then what we do is we do what we did before. We do 1, 2, and 3. And we are good. There. Another thing of compies. Though, let's get rid of these 3. Okay, so they need more sand. Alright, so now all we need are the Proceratosaurus, and then we'll be good. 5 Proceratosaurus. What do they need? Just forest. Okay. Great. I might stick to the theme, though, of sand. And just do a little bit of that. But other than that, just forest. Excellent. So now all we have to do is wait for the Proceratosaurus to get here. Alright, perfect. These guys have plenty of space. So, let's quickly take a look at them. So we have the first one. We've got the second one. Ooh, pretty. We got number 3. Ooh, I like the darker color with the purple. And number 4. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a 5th one too. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright guys, so kicking off the first long time-lapse segment of the video. So as you can see, I'm starting off by expanding the Sarcolestes and Compsognathus enclosure because the design of the original enclosure was very weird and wonky, and because of that, the Sarcolestes and Compsognathus were not encompassing the entire enclosure, and because of that, they did not have a lot of room. So, because of that, what you will see that I do in just a minute is I basically moved the lagoon hatchery to the other side of the lagoon because there was this little bit of space that wasn't being used as an enclosure. So because of that, I decided to place it there. As you can see, I am sort of seeing if I can fit in a building right there, and I managed to fit the response facility right there. So because of that, what I'm going to end up doing is I moved the lagoon hatchery right there, as you just saw, and then you can see me fiddling around with the hatchery. In the end, I decided to place it right next to the visitor center, and then right over here where the lagoon hatchery was, I decided to put the paleomedical facility. And where the old hatchery was, I decided to expand the Sarcolestes and Compsognathus enclosure. On top of that, there was a little area with the log viewing gallery for the Compsognathus and Sarcolestes enclosure. That's where I ended up putting the response facility. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of what we end up getting done in this time-lapse segment. I do really quickly want to apologize that it has been a while since I've uploaded. I've been quite busy with school and other activities, but now I am super happy to get this show back on the road. So as you can see, one thing I'm also doing is I'm getting a bit of path, and I am connecting it in between the Proceratosaurus and Liopleurodon enclosures, and that will lead to the hatchery. So now, really quickly, we need to talk about the obvious elephant in the room, and that is the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. I personally really like the trailer, and while I am concerned about the mutant creature thingy, you can't even call that a dinosaur, it's just a straight up mutant. So while I am a little bit concerned about it, I don't really mind it all that much. Personally, for me, I like it better than the robots that we got in Camp Cretaceous Seasons 4 and 5. But I do have two conditions for the mutant D-Rex, whatever it's gonna be called. One, I hope it dies at the end of the movie. Two, Frontier, please do not add that thing into Jurassic World Evolution 3. Nobody is gonna use it, I can assure you. At least I'm not gonna use it, because, again, that thing is just a straight up monster. That is no dinosaur. It makes the Scorpius Rex look like an actual dinosaur. But anyways, so I really am super stoked about the new movie. I love the dinosaur designs. Like, the cats look so much better. The Spinos, the Titanosaurs, all those dinosaurs look super duper awesome, and I'm really excited for the movie, and I'm excited for all the possibilities that it'll open for Jurassic World Evolution 3, which I am also super stoked about, even though, you know, it hasn't been announced yet. So one thing you'll see that I'm doing really quickly is I'm sort of expanding the Loricatosaurus enclosure a little bit, so that way it goes behind the Ichthyosaurus and Plesiosaurus lagoon. And one thing you'll see me doing right now is I decided to put the destroyed Malta Tower as sort of like a barrier for the enclosure, and then I just hit it with some foliage. Personally, I quite like this little touch, especially when you consider the history of England. And that is gonna conclude our first time-lapse. Okay guys, I have to say, this setup looks so much better than it did beforehand. Like, I feel like this is such a better use of space. Like, this is perfect. Like, you've got plenty of room to put the ranger team and the lagoon hatchery over here. This is plenty of room for the hatchery. This is plenty of room for the paleomedical facility. Like, this is perfect. And on top of that, the Loricatosaurus, or not the Loricatosaurus, the Sarcolestes get so much more room. Yeah, I have to say, this is so much better. So yeah, so our staff will just walk over here, and they walk all the way down. Alright, so now that we have all of our dinosaurs and other prehistoric reptiles, now there's really only one thing left to do, and that is to add in all of the guest facilities, as well as decorations and all that good jazz. So, because of that, we are going to head in to the second time-lapse of the video. Alright guys, so as we are planning out our guest accommodations, I feel like one thing we definitely need to talk about is the process of placing the actual guest buildings. It was kind of a struggle, especially because all of the buildings and the lagoons and the aviary that we placed beforehand were on this weird half terrace, and so because that, I kept encountering a lot of building constraints, especially, well, it started with the amenities, but then when we went to go place the hotels, it was even more of a struggle. So because that, you're seeing that I had to rearrange a couple of the buildings, in particular the aviary hatchery. I did have to move to the other side so that way I could fit a hotel, as well as moving just like a bunch of the amenities around, so that way I could not only see like where they would get the best coverage, but also where they would fit. As you can see right now, I did have to delete the paleomedical facility and then replace it once everything was the way I wanted it. Eventually, in the end, I was able to figure it out by cutting a little bit into the Sarcolestes and Compsognathus enclosure. I was at the point where I was able to afford it at this point because they already had enough room from one of the earlier expansions. And so in just a second, you can see that I had to get rid of some of the water in the Dimorphodon aviary so that way I could re-add the aviary hatchery. And so because of that, I'm just making a little bit of tweaks to the aviary. I expanded the water in the other direction this time, and I also added quite a couple more rocks, you know, as if we couldn't have any more rocks. So now the aviary is looking a whole lot better, and it's functional. So now what we are doing is we are moving on to some of the path designs. So what you can see I'm doing right now is I'm sort of finicking with this little path bit in between the amenity, the hotel, as well as the path itself. And so what you can see I ended up doing is there was this little bit that was sticking out that I couldn't get rid of. So because of that, I just decided to make that a little path feature. So one thing you'll see, especially with the decorations, is that this time around there aren't really a lot of places to put giant guest plazas. So because of that, you'll see that there are a couple little areas of path where I put in some decorations. You can see I'm trying to fit in as many hotels as I can, as well as making a couple little tweaks to the Loricatosaurus enclosure. But for the most part, there wasn't really too much that I had to do with adding in the decorations because, like I said, this time around, there weren't very many big guest plazas. There were probably a lot of areas where I could have put a guest plaza, but I instead decided to fill it with some trees, even though the foliage brush wouldn't fill the area with trees. I decided to use the individually placeable trees. So right here you can see that I am adding some tables and chairs to that little path feature that I just added, as well as adding some decorations to the thicker areas of path, especially with the fountains and the When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth banner. I also did decide to make a little staff shortcut, and I made sure to block it off with the Jurassic World concrete fence. You could see adding in a couple little like details with the picnic benches and the Jurassic Park tables, the Jurassic World Main Street flags. I thought was a really nice addition to this little thicker area of path. And now we are adding in the trees. So there's that little area right next to the visitor center that would have been a good place for a plaza, but much like with the movie, I wanted the visitor center to sort of feel isolated from the rest of the park. So because of that, I decided to fill that area with some foliage. And now all we have left to do is customize the amenities. And yeah, pretty much we are done with this first guest section. Alright guys, I have to say, I really like this little guest section. Sure, it's fairly simple, especially when we're coming off of Jurassic Park Grand Canyon, where the guest sections and the plazas in particular were absolutely massive. But honestly, it's nice to get a little, like, break from the sprawling, intricate guest plazas, and it's really nice to take a little break and to do something a little bit more simple. So, as you can see, I did do a little bit off camera in the sense that I added in these little lights in front of the visitor center. But all in all, I really do like how these look. We've got the little seating area over here, overlooking the lagoon. Got some fountains. We've got a little fountain over here. And then you've got this little area over here, and seeing it from a guest point of view looks absolutely phenomenal, I must say. So all in all, I have to give this a solid 8.5 chef's kisses out of 10, solely because it was a bit of a struggle placing all of the guest facilities, but once I got them into place, it was smooth sailing from there, and the end result, once again, looks absolutely stunning. So feel free to comment down below how many chef's kisses you would rate this out of 10. So I think that is a great place to stop for this video. We got a really good head start on Jurassic Park UK. We started by adding in so many different Jurassic UK species, such as a mixed enclosure with Ichthyosaurus and Plesiosaurus. You can see them right over there going about the lagoon. Let's see if we can see them from over here. Ooh, you can see some Plesiosauruses. And then in the distance, you can see an Ichthyosaurus. On top of that, we also added in some Liopleurodons. Anything? Ooh, you can see one right over there. We also added in some Dimorphodons flying about in this aviary. Then for dinosaurs, we added in the Loricatosaurus, which you can get a good view of from this viewing gallery. Right in here, you can see some of the Proceratosaurus. This one's taking a little nap in the tall grass. Let's see if we can get a good view of one of them. Ooh, here's one, taking a little drink. And then right in here, we've got an enclosure for some Compsognathus. You can see them over by the meat feeder eating. As well as the Sarcolestes. So yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode. So the plan for next episode is we're going to move on to this area. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be a little guest area. This is going to be an enclosure for the Eotyrannus, which is what we're using Herrerasaurus as. And this is going to be for some baryonyx. So one thing we'll also do is we'll get the tour up and running. We'll make a little tour stop over here, and then for the future, this will be for the Mantellosaurus and Polycanthus, and this will be for Colubrincus, which is what we're using the Marodactylus as. So if we have time next episode, we will also do this area and just finish it up. But what we'll definitely do is we'll definitely get this area done. So yeah, with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. Really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If so, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see some more Planet Zoo and Jurassic World Evolution 2 content. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.